similar to Zachary, you've only had a couple of minutes to look through some of these figures here. What is your first blush reaction?
I think it was a good print overall. Revenues came in better than expected, which is great. But I think what was a really interesting part here is the China numbers. I know they're still down 12%, but that's much better than the high teens decline that was expected. So some momentum in China, a long way to go, but we're moving in the right direction. The other thing that I want to point out is the gross margin, which you also talked about earlier. The increase that we see here is still not indicative of a gross margin trajectory that's pointing upward, because they do have a lot of discounting to still do. It's all tariffs, and that's all one time. So I don't expect this momentum to continue post the tariff refunds.
So give me a sense here. I know that we have to wait for the conference call to get a little bit more guidance, and I know there's a big investor day planned for later in the fall. But is there a growth story here that you think that the management can start to articulate to investors?
Absolutely. I think, look, they've already turned the page in North America. North America is positive now. It is improving. The next page to turn is in China. And it's not going to turn in the next quarter or two, but we would like management to outline a plan at their investor day in the fall to show the trajectory in China. Is it a 2028 fiscal growth story, or is it sometime in the next 6 to 12 months? And that direction will help investors gain or regain confidence, I should say, in the turnaround story.
Yeah, and give us a lay of the land here when it comes to this competitive landscape. You know, there's a lot of focus on Nike's turnaround story, of course, engineered by Elliott Hill, who's approaching 2 years in the job. But how does that fit into the broader context of what Nike is dealing with when it comes to some of its peers?
Yeah, look, competition is increasing. There are definitely more players in the market, and no one is willing to leave their share behind for Nike to easily pick it up. So innovation is going to be key here. Nike needs to continue to innovate, but even at a faster clip to keep up or beat competition, because the mind share is now split between the newer emerging brands like On and others versus it just being a Nike story 5 or 10 years ago. So there is more competition. There's more competition in apparel and in footwear. And Nike, we think, is making inroads into fighting that competition and really regaining its momentum, but a lot more work could still be done.